Do you find yourself in an organizational space where users oftentimes log in at odd hours, risking system misuse after working hours, or exposing the system to security attacks during non-operational hours? Then this video is for you. I'm going to show you how to take control of user access by setting specific logon times using a simple but yet powerful Microsoft Windows command. Whether you are managing a school laboratory, a small office, or a corporate organization, restricting login hours adds an extra layer of security and accountability to your security policies. When this policy is implemented, it's going to help you enforce access control by preventing login attempts outside authorized hours, or reducing the chances of unauthorized access during non-working hours, and also aligns user access with organizational and regulatory policies. Without much ado, let me take you to my system and then begin the implementation of this simple but powerful policy. So this is available on all editions of the Microsoft operating system, the desktop operating systems, as well as the server-based operating systems. So it's available on all the editions, that is Pro, Enterprise, and what have you. Now I'm going to go to command prompt, that is the command prompt administrator, or the command prompt with administrative privileges. Very important to always open this command prompt, because all the tasks that you are going to run will be executed for you. So here in command prompt, I'm going to enter net user and I hit the enter key. This displays all the user accounts available on the system. So I have Tech with Kobo, which I use to log onto the system, and I have the Kofi account as well. The rest of them are all default accounts on the system. Now I'm going to work with the Kofi account. So I enter net user Kofi, and then I hit the enter key, which pulls the properties of the Kofi account. So here within the properties, we have logon hours allowed set to all. By default, Microsoft sets logon hours for every account that is created to all, which means that the holder of that account or that user account can be used to log onto the system at any time without any restrictions. So from Monday to Sunday, any day, anytime, the user can log onto the system, which represents a vulnerability that we need to address. So when you want to address this vulnerability, you target a particular account, or you can target all the accounts. In this case, you have to execute that command for all the accounts on the system. Now, if a system is connected to a domain or joined to a domain, then this policy will be enforced on the server, and it applies to every user that is going to log on to any of the systems that have been connected to the server. In the case of a standalone system or a systems that are not using a domain controller, then you have to enforce it manually on these systems one after the other, which makes it a bit difficult to do. Alright, so I'm going to enter net user Kofi /times. So times here is the parameter which is going to enforce the restriction. So I bring a colon after times. Now we have days of the week, that is Monday to Sunday. These days in this command have been abbreviated, so you cannot enter the full spelling of Monday. It rather has been abbreviated to MT for Tuesday in that order. Let me display the abbreviations here for you. So these are the abbreviations: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, in that order. All of them have been abbreviated. When I come back here into command prompt, now certain organizations work from Monday to Friday, maybe 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. or whatever time that they close, and then also go to work on Saturdays as well. But the Saturday, maybe the working hours might differ from the Monday to Friday. So we are going to look at all of them and how to implement them. So if the organization works on Monday to Friday, which is typical of many organizations, instead of entering the days differently, as in you do it for Monday, you do it for Tuesday, you can specify the day range. So I'm going to enter Monday to Friday, which is M to F. Then I bring a comma. After specifying the days, you bring a comma before the time. I'm going to enter 8 o'clock a.m. to, let's say, 4 o'clock p.m. This is the time that the working hours on Monday to Friday. This means that before 8 a.m., the user account named Kofi cannot log onto the system. And then after 4 p.m., he can as well not log onto the system. But within the hours of 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., he can log onto the system. Now, when Kofi is logged onto the system before 4 p.m., he can still remain logged on after 4 p.m. But if he wasn't logged on after 4 p.m., then when he comes to log onto the system, he is going to be denied access to the system. So let's take note of that. Now, if you want to add Saturday, which is also another working day for the same organization, then you are going to bring a semicolon. When you specify a certain day and its time, and you want to add another day to the command, you need to bring a semicolon after that day and its time before you bring another day. In this case, if I want to add Saturday, I'm going to enter SA after the semicolon, and then I bring a comma because it's a day that I have specified. After a day, you bring a comma, and then on Saturday we start work at 10 o'clock a.m. then we close at 2 o'clock p.m. Now, in case you are wondering if you can add, let's say, 30 minutes to the time, that is not possible. What I mean is that you cannot be entering 8:30 a.m., 4:30 p.m. in that order. This works with hours alone. It's hourly basis. So it always has to be the exact hour. I'm going to hit the enter key to execute this command. It says the command completed successfully. And when I want to see the command, I'm going to enter net user Kofi. Then I hit the enter key. Now we see the days have been changed. It has been changed from all to the days that were specified. Monday to Friday is 8 o'clock a.m. to 4 o'clock p.m. and on Saturdays 10 o'clock a.m. to 2 o'clock p.m. This tells us clearly that Kofi cannot log onto the system on Sundays. He cannot log onto the system because Sunday wasn't specified over here, which means it's completely out. He cannot log onto the system on Sundays, and he can also not log onto the system outside the specified logon hours for him. Now, if I want to handpick different days, assuming that the time that we use to work on Monday is different from Tuesday, is different from Wednesday, in that order, I'm going to pull up the command by pressing the up arrow key to bring the command that was earlier entered. So in this case, I'll enter Monday, which is M, bring a comma, and then say 8 o'clock a.m. to 12 o'clock p.m. That is just an assumption that that is the time that we work on Monday. Then I bring a semicolon before I follow it up with the next day. So the next day is Tuesday, which is T, followed by a comma. And then on Tuesday, we start work at 9 o'clock a.m. We close at 1 o'clock p.m. in that order. And then I bring a semicolon. The next day is Wednesday, which is W. I bring a comma. On Wednesday, we start work at 10 o'clock a.m. and we close at 2 o'clock p.m. I bring a semicolon again, do the same thing for Thursday, which is TH, and then I bring a comma, and on Thursday we start work at 11 o'clock a.m. we close at 4 o'clock p.m. I bring a comma. I do the same for Friday, which is F. Bring a comma after Friday, No, I think there is a mistake somewhere. So I'm going to go back. After this one, it has to be a semicolon. So on Friday, I bring a comma. Then I specify the time, 12 o'clock p.m. to 6 o'clock p.m. And then I hit the enter key. It says the command completed successfully. So when I type net user Kofi to pull up the properties, this time it's going to change all of what I earlier entered to the new ones that have been specified. So I'm going to hit the enter key over here, and we have the new days and time that have been specified for this user. So you can see that they have been changed. On Thursday, we are going to start work at 11 a.m. and close at 4 p.m. Now when I come here on my system time, it is 11:26 p.m. on Thursday, June 26, 2025, which means that 11:26 falls outside the logon hours for Kofi, which ends at 4 p.m. So when we try using Kofi to log on to the system, we should expect that the system has to deny him access at this time. Okay, I'm going to log out of this system, shut down /L to sign out of that account, and try to use the Kofi account that was the target account to log onto the system, and we see the effect of this command. So I'm going to enter the password, and it says your account has time restrictions that prevent you from signing in at this time. Please try again. Regardless of the number of times that Kofi tries, he is going to be denied by this policy which has been enforced on this system. It's a very nice policy, very simple to implement on your systems to address some of these vulnerabilities. I'm logging back onto the system with the Tech with Kobo account, and then we run a command to override this policy. Just in case you want to override the policy, you use that command to do so. I'm going to go back to command prompt with administrative privileges, and then enter net user Kofi /times : this time we specify all to revert it to the default logon session time for the account. So I'm going to hit the enter key, and it says the command completed successfully. I type net user Kofi, hit the enter key to pull up the properties for Kofi, and here I have all, which means the policy has been reversed for Kofi to the default. So that is how you set up a user account session times in Windows. A small change that brings big benefits in security and control. I always say that security comes in different layers, one layer at a time, to tighten up your system. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, share it with your tech circle, and don't forget to subscribe for more practical IT and cybersecurity tips. Drop your questions in the comment section. I am here to help you all the time. See you in the next video, and don't forget to keep practicing all the time. Thank you for watching.